Shedeur, you told us that this week felt like you were getting back to normal, being a starting quarterback, like you have your whole career. But this is going to be your first NFL start. What does that opportunity feel like in this moment?
Feels good, but we cool, calm, collective like. This ain't nothing to us.
And what do you hope to show against this Raiders defense, your teammates, yourself, and these Browns fans with your play today?
I'm who they've been looking for. Appreciate it.
You heard the man. He said he who we been looking for. Now, get in here, family. What's going on, everybody? But first off, let's get to it. This Brendan Sorsby issue is now, it's done data. It's over with. He going to have to, continue to fight it in court, do all those different things, the legalities that he's going to have to take as far as getting any type of shot at playing this year. He's more than likely done. So when it comes to the Browns, it's old news. We can stop talking about it. You guys can stop begging for him to come. You guys can stop pleading. You can stop saying, we need to do this in the supplemental rounds. We need to have a second-round pick, a third-round pick, a first-round pick. All these different things that you wanted to do is over with. Now what you have to do is be salty because you got to talk about Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Two people that are, for completely separate reasons, both hated in Cleveland. I don't understand it. Yeah, you have Shedeur fans. You have a segregation of people that do love Shedeur. But when it comes to this media, these guys are all-out haters. But what's crazy is now that this Sorsby issue is behind us and camp is creeping. Camp is creeping down on us. We have to talk about the real issues and who's going to start. So when we start talking about the Browns, now we see a swing. People are starting to hop on board. People are starting to join the bandwagon when it talks about Shedeur. I think that it's something that's going to happen even more frequently when we move forward in the next couple weeks. I feel like this is something that is only going to pick up steam in game motion, man. Colin Coward, what you talk about?
Believe that Shedeur Sanders broke Tom Brady's record for most merchandise sold. I said it's very Tim Tebow, but he can actually play. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a bad kid. I think he's a little immature, a little silly for my taste, but I think he's got real talent. And I think he was underdrafted in the 5th round. I said, at worst, late second. I think he can play. I think he's big enough, accurate enough, mobile enough. I think you can win games with Shedeur. I'm not saying he's a great franchise guy, but I think Cleveland the last couple of years has aced the draft, and I think they're going to win games this year. Not 2 or 3, 6, 7, or 8. I really believe that. I think they have really good players. They have an offensive coach. And here's Andrew Berry on Shedeur's off-season development. Listen to this.
He's had an excellent spring, Anthony. I mean, the past 8 to 10 weeks, and really probably beyond that, really the past 6 months with, as a rookie player, and particularly a quarterback, you learn a lot your first year, and especially if you don't start a full season, start 6, 7, I guess you start 7 games, and you kind of go through the year. It's adjustment going to the NFL, and then you get a chance to catch your breath and say, okay, well, here are the things I need to work on, here are the things I need to learn. And I think he did a phenomenal job this offseason.
You know what also did him a disservice, Shedeur? His dad. Deion Sanders, here's what we know. He's a great all-time NFL player, a pretty good Major League Baseball player, a so-so head coach, and a terrible agent. During Super Bowl week, he cut it up with a lot of hosts, and the overwhelming sentiment was, I don't want my kids playing for some of these lousy teams. The problem, of course, is the lousy teams are the ones that need a quarterback. So he alienated, Dad did, and dads can do this with their athletic sons. He alienated many of the teams that were interested. Reportedly, some team took him off their board that needed a quarterback. So Todd Marinovich's dad, there's an argument, he did his son no favors. Alonzo Ball acknowledges his dad forced him to wear the Big Baller brand shoes. And I read a quote this morning. He goes, to be honest with you, I think one of the reasons I suffered so many rookie injuries was the shoes. I never got hurt until I started wearing them. Lonzo Ball's words, not mine. So I think Deion at the Super Bowl was glib and funny and entertaining, but I think he alienated people. And I think Shedeur can play. It's a hill I'm going to die on. I think he was underdrafted. And listen, sometimes you miss. Brock Purdy, 7th round. Brock can play. Do I think Brock has great traits, size? No. And I don't think Shedeur does either. But I will tell you, Andrew Berry is really sharp. And they may not have wanted to draft him, right, because of some of the pre-draft stuff. You guys, he can play. This is going to become Tebow, except a guy can actually win games. That's what this is going to become. And I'll throw this out there for the doubters. Shedeur started the final 7 games last year for Cleveland, and their offensive line was putrid. It was ranked 31st. He had more touchdown passes in that stretch than Josh Allen. You heard right. He had as many total touchdowns behind that putrid O-line as Darnold, Herbert, and Jordan Love.
Good.
Okay, so you can tell me what you want to hear. I'm going to give you numbers. He was productive, mobile enough, big enough, accurate enough, and has a good eye for the deep ball. And again, back-to-back-to-back years, Cleveland's done very well in the draft. J-Mac with the news.
So what do you think about that, man? Honestly, some of the key takeaways from what Colin just said to me, and I had to let him cook the whole time because he was on fire. Now, the stuff you can debate what he was talking about with Prime. I know my aunties is going to debate with me about that. We're going to skip past those comments. Some of the things that I do want to highlight that he said was Andrew Berry. How many times did he say Andrew Berry? Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry is really sharp. Andrew Berry has done a hell of a job in the last 2 drafts. Now, one thing that I took from that is the Cleveland media doesn't say that. The Cleveland media doesn't respect when Andrew Berry comes on and tells you how much Shedeur has progressed through the offseason. But what we're going to do is we're going to tell you, I take what AB says and what Coach Monken say. I take that more serious than what any insider, Pelissero, Breer, Zach Jackson, any of the guys you guys want to throw up in people's face. I'm taking it from the general manager and the coach. The guys that are seeing this guy, interacting with him, watching his work ethic in the offseason, they know what he does, his ins and outs of his day-to-day. And what they're telling you is that this guy has been cooking. This guy has been phenomenal as far as his progress, footwork, improving. In the short to intermediate game, improving. A lot of the questions that was had about Shedeur was, can he play on schedule? We know that he has the playmaking ability. He's an elite playmaker. But can he play on time and in schedule? Those are the strides that he's been making. When you hear his quarterback coach talk about him, they love what Shedeur is doing. These are the things that you're going to start hearing coming out more and more over these next couple weeks. We done got the Sorsby issue out of here. All the other guys they tried to bring in through the offseason, everything has failed. Now we're getting to the real topic, and that's when real football is going to be played, man. And I love to see this, man. It makes me feel good that football is coming back around. G. Bush! G. Bush! We know.
What I'm saying is the narrative around Shedeur Sanders was he could not play in structure, and he was a one-throw type guy, boom or busty, right? But guess what? He shows you on film. The next week, he's able to come out here and throw the ball on time. The next week, we talk about running backwards. The next week, he shows he can step up in the pocket. Cosell talked about it. There's multiple. I'm not the only one to say it. Chase Daniels talks about it. Multiple quarterbacks talk about the progression. So my thing is, we can sit here and bring up a number that we looked up and said, hey, he's the worst quarterback of all time. But if you watch...
Isn't that some of the same things that Colin was saying? No, let's talk about the facts. Keep cooking, G.
In the game, nobody that plays the game of football, watch the game of football, or all the people that talk about it is not going to say that Shedeur Sanders is the worst quarterback they've ever seen.
Well, what's your favorite?
What I'm saying is...
Now, this is what he's referred to.
And so Shedeur Sanders is going to read, he's going to look back at that safety, try to hold that safety back foot, and boom. And look at where he throws it there, right down the middle of the field.
He still doesn't flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot.
Shedeur knows he's hot. All right. He trusts just enough 39 to get that block. He moves a little bit, sets up, sees it, throws a strike. Okay, down low, away, so you don't kill your receiver.
This isn't me saying this. I'm not an NFL. I've never claimed to be an NFL coach. This is people.
You're not an NFL coach, so why do you stand so strongly with people that you just hear from? Anybody can text somebody and say, hey, man, how's so-and-so looking? What they're doing? How do you know that they've been there? So these are the people who report to the Cleveland media. They report to everybody, all of the fans, us in the general public, and they tell us, this isn't it. He's bad. He can't do this. He can't do that. They don't even know how to evaluate whether somebody can or cannot play the quarterback position. They rely on a guy. We don't know who that guy is that they call. They call and text the guy during the week. These guys don't even know football. These guys are Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon card collectors.
In that building will tell me he still doesn't know how to flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He can only throw to wide open receivers. He doesn't make tight window throws. He doesn't throw guys open.
Does it look like there's anyone open right here? Just look. I'll pause again. There's no one open, but he's able to fit this ball in between these two defenders. Really nice throw, meaning he doesn't even have to do anything. He just puts his hands out there, and Santa's just giving presents out. 1, 2, 3, no hitch, ball.
That sounded like he was in structure. 1, 2, 3, hitch, ball out. That sounds like it's his structure.
That's a perfect throw between these three.
Tight window. Money. We talk about tight window passes. He can't make what? Now, if you know Shedeur, you don't even have to watch Brown's highlights to understand that he can throw tight window passes. How many times have we seen him at Colorado throw tight window passes? But this is a narrative that people have to debunk. We had to debunk, and now people got a lot of egg on their face. They got to eat crow sandwiches day in, day out, and they're going to have to eat even more so once this guy takes the field and starts the ball in the preseason, regular season, and so on and so forth. A lot of people don't want him to play because they are going to look foolish, and they already understand that you, the viewer, you, the Shedeur fan, you, the Cleveland Browns fan, is not going to allow them to then walk back any comments, pretend like they didn't say said things. We are going to let you know. You were guys that were trying to get him out of the league. Jason Lloyd is a person that said Shedeur should have been cut. His reasoning behind Shedeur being cut, because the Browns can't handle him as a backup. He's not a starter. He's not a franchise guy. And the Browns infrastructure can't handle him as a backup. He comes with too much. We need to just cut him and be done with him. That's what guys are telling you. What?
Awesome job.
What's up?
What I'm saying is the narrative.
He still doesn't know what he's looking at. He still doesn't flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. This isn't me saying this. I'm not an NFL. I've never claimed to be an NFL coach. This is people in that building will tell me he still doesn't know how to flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He can only throw to wide open receivers. He doesn't make tight window throws. He doesn't throw guys open. This is not the answer. These last 2 weeks were the opportunity coming off the Titans game.
Wait, did you not 360 something? Didn't he throw for? So you see how quick this lets you know this is a personal agenda, okay? And this is not just to single out Lloyd. He's not the only one, okay? You got Grossi. Come on now. There's multiple people in this media. You got Jason Lloyd, Grossi, even Zach Jackson is not a fan of Shedeur. Okay, you got Anthony Lima. You got a lot of people that are not big fans of Shedeur in this Cleveland media, and they let it be known. But what they tried to do is they tried to disguise it with numbers and try and prove or give some kind of point from some insider that they texted as to why this guy isn't it. They didn't turn on the tape and watch. Let's turn on the tape. Now, this is where we really start cooking. Now, have anybody heard any of Emmanuel Acho's takes concerning Shedeur Sanders recently? He's been a little bit wild. with some of the stuff he's been saying about 112. Currently 2. Let's hear how he was talking about him previously when he was watching the film, when we diagnosed the tape, when we actually look at the things going on inside the pocket, inside the film room. Let's see what's happening with Emmanuel Acho.
National Football League, and if anybody doubts that, just show them this.
What did he say?
The Browns don't need to draft a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is their future. The Browns don't need to draft a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is their future. The Browns don't need to draft a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is their future. The Browns don't need to draft a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is their future.
No, it's not on the loop. I had to dub it back. DJ, run me back one more time.
The Browns don't need to draft a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is their future.
Why is that? Why is that, Emmanuel Acho? Why is he the future?
He's a franchise quarterback in the National Football League, and if anybody doubts that, just show them this. This is the most comprehensive and exciting tape, fully comprehensive, of Shedeur Sanders' most recent game. Watch these plays I'm going to show you, and they're not all just highlights, but I want to lead with the headlines. This play right here, Shedeur Sanders assessing the line of scrimmage, and then what does he do after make the assessment? He throws an absolute perfect dot.
Now, I'm going to give a little bit more breakdown on this. Let's talk about this stale, nasty playbook, okay? We are in... Look at the personnel, man. Look at the personnel. What is this? 1, 2. Come on, man. Is this the Packers with Lombardi when receivers had the hands in the dirt? This is supposed to be explosive. This is as basic of a concept. You're going to get, what, an out? You're going to get, look, probably a corner route and an out route, and probably something similar up top, a speed out, something a combo block up and out. Vanilla playbook. This is what 12 was working with. This is what 2 was working with, man. So let's point that out as well. Todd Monken is an elite play caller. Somebody that's going to draw up some things. We're going to see a lot of different schematics out here. We're going to see people in motion. We're going to see things that we haven't seen the Browns do. Wonder why? Tell them why.
But I want to lead with the headlines. This play right here, Shedeur Sanders assessing the line of scrimmage. And then what does he do after make the assessment? He throws an absolute perfect dot. An absolutely perfect dot to David Njoku right there. I'm zooming in so you can see it. I mean, the ball cannot be handed any better than this. When I tell you Shedeur Sanders has officially arrived, I'm not saying that hyperbolically. I'm saying that in all sincerity. Shedeur Sanders did stuff in the game today that you just don't see out of young Qs. Patience, poise, and then again, deliver a perfect strike. What I want to do when I show you all these clips, I want to lead with the headlines. What I mean by that, I want to lead with the most exhilarating plays, and then we'll get to some of the more mundane but still great plays a little bit later. That was his first touchdown to David Njoku. Shedeur Sanders had 393 yards, 4 total touchdowns, 358 through the...
You hear how hype he is talking about Shedeur Sanders? I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened.
This was a 60-yard dot to Jerry Jeudy. First, I'm going to show you the play. Then I'm going to explain the play. 60 yards, dot, on a rope. So, Acho, how does it happen? Hey, let's run it back. The Titans are in a coverage I used to call tan. What is tan? Hey, you're going to play him inside.
And once again, you're going to see the most basic of route combinations you have ever seen. You are going to see this guy right here. It's number 2 receiver. Over. You see Jerry Jeudy. Slant. You're going to get a drag underneath. That is weak. That's weak. But watch what 2 does with it.
Now, Jerry Jeudy cannot beat this player inside. If indeed he does beat this player inside, this defender, if he has an in-breaking route, he's going to fall into the second window, assuming in-breaking route. He'll be here to pick it off. What does Shedeur do so great? Patience. Let Jerry Jeudy clear the second window and then throw it on a rope. Make sure y'all catch this. Let Jerry Jeudy clear the second window and then Shedeur throw it on a rope. If Shedeur gets too...
Hey, we got to give credit where credit is due, though, because Jerry Jeudy did break this corner down. Like, let's run him back from the top of the route, because Jerry Jeudy absolutely did kill the corner with the selling the outside release and yanked him back inside on this deep slant post, whatever you want to call it, skinny post, whatever it is.
Window, assuming in breaking route, he'll be here to pick it off. What is Shedeur do so
oh
great?
My goodness.
Patience. Let Jerry Jeudy clear the second window and then throw it on a rope. Make sure y'all catch this. Let Jerry Jeudy clear the second window and then Shedeur throw it on a rope. If Shedeur gets too excited and throws it sooner, it's picked. Let him clear the second window, throw it in stride. Perfect. That's how you get a 60-yard passing touchdown. Again, yak, yards after catch. It is timing plus accuracy. You don't get yak in the NFL by coincidence. It's timing plus accuracy. When I'm telling you, Shedeur did a lot of good things. He did a lot of good things. This might be my favorite one. You can see the weather's bad at this point. Why is this my favorite? Look closely at Shedeur. What's Shedeur doing? Hey, he's making checks. He's making checks.
Wait. Mr. Lloyd. What did you tell us about Shedeur?
To show that he can be the guy against playoff contenders, and he has not lived up to it. This is not it. He still doesn't know what he's looking at. He still doesn't flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. This isn't.
He doesn't flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. But wait, Emmanuel, what are you saying? That didn't sound like.
This might be my favorite one. You can see the weather's bad at this point. Why is this my favorite? Look closely at Shedeur. What's Shedeur doing? Hey, he's making checks. This is telling me he's
So if he's not flipping protections and identifying blitzes and all those things you said, Mr. Lloyd, how is he making checks at the line and flipping the protection?
Favorite one. You can see the weather's bad at this point. Why is this my favorite? Look closely at Shedeur. What's Shedeur doing? Hey, he's making checks. This is telling me he's cerebral. Okay, he's making checks. He brought this receiver in to come chip block. Shedeur's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to check this to a wheel route. But in order to check this to a wheel route and out and up, I need more time. How do I get more time? By bringing that receiver in. Hey, chip this defensive end. Give me a little bit more time. Shedeur, he called his own number and threw an absolute dot. You can't play man coverage versus Shedeur. Not if he has a clean pocket. Check, call his own number, and then look at the ball. Let me zoom in. Look at the ball, people. Perfect.
Money. So when we talk about this quarterback situation, these are things we haven't seen from Deshaun Watson. We haven't seen him be able to put these things together. We haven't seen him throw for over 300 yards. Never in a Browns jersey. Have we seen Shedeur Sanders do that? Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we talk about this quarterback competition, it's going to be heating up. Without a doubt. There's going to be a lot of new narratives, and I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people back on this Shedeur bandwagon. But one thing that is important is for the ones that were on that side of the agenda, for the ones like Mr. Lloyd, who was saying how bad he was, statistically the worst quarterback of this generation, stuff like that, that's going to come back to haunt you, and you're going to have a lot of crow to eat, my guy. It's going to be served up hot and ready, and it's going to be served up on a consistent basis for you. You're going to have a consistent diet. You're going to have to live with it and live it down. One thing that's also taking a hit is this Cleveland media credibility. Absolutely, absolutely nuts. One reason I say that, let's listen to how Mary Kay is talking about one, Shedeur Sanders. Oh my goodness. Do we got our guy in here again? Boy, you catching it. You and Lyman catching it, bruh.
Yeah, totally agree with that. The Sorsby thing, and I'm asking this from a stance of I want.
Then why are you asking about it? It's the old news. Running back a little bit.
Paul, a great team leader by any stretch.
Yeah, totally agree with that. The Sorsby thing, and I'm asking this from a stance of I want no part of him in Cleveland. I've been consistent on that. I'm just curious, from what you know, do you think he wins this, what seems to be a legal battle that's about to ensue, or is he really sitting out the year?
Well, this is kind of a tangled mess right now, and I don't know if they're going to have time to actually pull off a supplemental draft, which has to be conducted, I think, 7 days before the start of training camps, which...
You know what that means? No, buddy. You're trying to act like you don't want them, but you're trying to weasel away to get them still. Gotta watch these guys. Money. You gotta watch these guys. I'm trying to tell you. Snake in the grass, Mr. Lloyd, right there.
I think most camps open around July. Yeah, it's coming very fast. For some teams, it's, sooner than July 29th. For a lot of teams, it is July 29th, including the Browns. So I don't know if they're going to be able to get something done in time for the 2027 season. So I think we all have to see how this is going to play out. And I think it could end up in court. The NFLPA is going to get involved. But I just don't think that the Browns are hot on his heels to put in a bid.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Thank you, Mary Kay. Now, if you don't know, Mary Kay has been one that's been waffling. At the start of it, she wanted the Browns to throw at least a second round at them. But now that the situation is what it is, it's out of the window. You're going to see Mary Kay's narrative start to switch back to Shedeur Sanders. And you know why? Everybody wants to be right. Who doesn't love for somebody to tell them, oh, you were absolutely right? She hates the fact that she's been wrong. So why not hop on the winning team? She thinks it's available. Well, Mary Kay, what do you think about Shedeur and the Browns?
On him in the event that he somehow is able to pull off a supplemental draft before this season. I'm not feeling it. I wrote that right off the rip when he first said he was entering the supplemental draft, and I still feel that way. I don't think much has changed in that regard. I think they like what they have in the room, and I don't think they want to get involved in this situation.
Speaking of quarterbacks, there's been some smoke in certain places about trade rumors for two members of the Browns quarterback room, and Dillon Gabriel and certainly Shedeur Sanders. I haven't heard anything. But have you, Mary Kay? Has there been anybody who's texting you about teams putting in calls about Shedeur or even Dillon Gabriel?
No, not at the moment. I think that...
So, Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland. Who's wrong, who's right? He came out with the whole piece. People are calling for Shedeur. People are calling for Shedeur. They're entertaining trades with Shedeur. Mary Kay just said no. There's no cause of it right now. And I don't think they would be willing to trade Shedeur. Why is that, Mary Kay? Go ahead and explain yourself.
The Browns are pretty committed to their two-way quarterback competition between Shedeur and Deshaun. And I think camp will open up that way, and then we'll see how that plays out. Now, when you fast forward to August 30th and it comes time to shaping your roster and making those cutdowns, at that point they will do what they always do, and they will listen to offers for any quarterbacks that aren't starting. And
any quarterbacks that aren't starting won't be Shedeur.
And that's just how it goes. Each year we've heard about them possibly trading Joe Flacco and possibly trading Jameis Winston, possibly trading a number of guys. And quite often they do end up trading those guys. So I do think that there is a world in which if Deshaun wins the job, that they probably would at least take a phone call for Shedeur. They would take phone calls for Dillon Gabriel. But I don't think they're shopping him right now. I don't think they're looking to trade him. I think they want to conduct their quarterback competition and let it play out.
It just seems to be, Mary Kay as well. Mary Kay Cabot joining us on the show. It just seems to be nonsense where, Kenny Pickett got traded last year, but he was traded after he had the hamstring tweak in camp. And once he had the hamstring, and it's like, well, he could be out 2 weeks. I'm like, well, that's it. He ain't going to be the starting quarterback now. And, yeah, they've traded quarterbacks, but they've made it kind of clear they were moving on from them being the starter. This would be crazy where it's like, hey, this guy, he is legitimately in the conversation to be the week one starter.
You see how Kim was looking at Jason when he said that? He's legitimately in the conversation to be the week one starter, and then watch Jason's face. Watch this.
Made it kind of clear they were moving on from them being the starter. This would be crazy where it's like, hey, this guy, he is legitimately in the conversation to be the week one starter. Well, I don't think you'd be talking about trading him. I don't understand about any rumors about trading Shedeur Sanders. I could understand Dylan Gabriel to some level, I guess, for a 7th rounder, but Shedeur, I don't think you have a new head coach. Why would you do something like that right now? It doesn't make sense.
Well, you would not be engaging in substantive trade talks right now. You just wouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
What might happen, perhaps, maybe you're
So she just shot down what ESPN Cleveland had to say. They had to say they were engaging in trade talks for Shedeur Sanders. Mary Kay, are they engaging in trade talks for Shedeur Sanders right now?
Does it make sense?
Well, you would not be engaging in substantive trade talks right now. You just wouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
What might happen, perhaps, maybe you're checking around about the availability of another player, and while you're on the phone with the team, they say, hey, what are your plans with Shedeur? I mean, there could be things like that going on because teams have those kinds of talks all the time. But I'm sure at that point, that's where the Browns would say, no, we're not moving him. We're conducting a quarterback competition. We think he could possibly be our week 1 starter. We see some really good things in him. He came on really strong in the second half of OTAs and in minicamp, and we're not ready to give up on him yet. We want to see what we have. So I'm sure that's probably how the conversations would go.
Can you keep him as the backup if he doesn't win the starting job?
You hear these guys? You hear this dude? Can you keep him as the backup?
I think it would be challenging. I think it would be very challenging. I think the Browns probably believe they can do that, but I think that perhaps they would be underestimating the reaction that would be happening at Huntington Bank Field. And they'll probably get a taste of it in preseason, and they should. They should find out what happens when you put Deshaun Watson out there and when you put Shedeur out there. And
Hey, let me tell you, bro, they would absolutely have to trade Shedeur before thinking they're going to leave Watson out there like that, because the reaction of the fans, as she alluded to, is not going to be great. It's not going to be good. You're talking about fans that cheered, woo, when he popped his Achilles. Think about that. That doesn't say the fan base loves you. But when you walk into Huntington Bank Field, as she said, Cleveland Browns Stadium, I guarantee you see a whole bunch of people. I guarantee you see a whole bunch of them, what, this side? Yeah, you're going to see them 2 jerseys out there too. It's crazy. I cannot wait to see what happens, man. Honestly, this thing right here is shaking up exactly how you could want it to if you are a Shedeur fan, because they have no choice. There is no other option. These guys have been throwing. We've been talking about it. Throwing everybody. Anybody but Shedeur. We've talked about, Malik Willis. We talked about Anthony Richardson. We talked about Ty Simpson. We talked about, last year, Dylan Gabriel. This year, we also talked about Mac Jones. We talked about bringing in Zach Wilson. We talked about bringing in all kind of people. Sorsby. When it come down to it, there was 2. Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders. And in a couple weeks, Deshaun Watson going to have to show up and show out to keep that wristband off the field, man. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments, man. Longer video today, but we had a lot to break down, man. We had a lot to break down. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you like the longer content where we actually get in there and break everything down, or you like the shorter videos where we stick on one specific video and we talk about that one and we get up out of there? You guys let me know what you think, man. I appreciate everybody supporting. Road to 1K. We 30 subscribers away, man. Y'all get me up today. I expect by the end of the night we're gonna be at 1K, man. Especially with this one, because we cooked up on this one, man. This was cooking, man. I'm talking about in the kitchen, bro. My fingers burning. We in here doing the damn thing, man. Shout out to y'all though. I appreciate y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments what you want on the next one though.
She get D in the line, feel like flash cops. I be slanging 3, feel like red socks. I said, business to who you get red shots. I'm on one. 38 could've loaded.